But what we have here is global poker that Iran is playing and others too. Let's start with poker from the Iranian perspective, and then we'll go to the others, and we'll end up with the Houthis in Yemen. In principle, in my opinion, if Israel is planning on a process of destroying Hamas, and in a previous program I said I don't believe in that objective, it is unobtainable. It won't become involved. First of all, because they are Aryans and the Gazans are Arabs, Semites. And secondly, wait, this needs to be emphasized. What did you say? I said they are Gazans, Arabs, and the Iranians are Aryan, like the Germans who wanted to be Aryans? Correct. So they consider themselves superior. Who's going to die for someone from Gaza? And secondly, because they are Shiites, the Iranians, and the Gazans are Sunnis. And thirdly, because they're not worth it. Because for Iranians, Arabs are disposable, expendable. There's always another one. Really? Yes, if you're familiar with their classic literature from 2,000 years ago up to the present day, Arabs are second class or maybe worse. And Jews? Jews belong to a different religious minority, but in the Iranian worldview, they consider themselves superior. So for 44 years, you never heard of an Iranian blowing himself up in a bus. There are enough Arabs willing to do it. They're the masters in charge. So I don't think, according to their cultural perception, that Iranians will become involved on the side of Gazans. That's number one. What's the story? If Israel enters into a process of, say, destroying Hezbollah, so the Iranians have declared that if Israel tries to destroy Hezbollah, we'll become involved in the picture. Why? Because the Hezbollah is their long arm, but in the south also. But the Gazans are Sunnis and Hezbollah are Shiites, and according to their philosophy, they cannot abandon them. And secondly, Hezbollah are much stronger than Hamas, so they don't want to lose their stronger arm, their right arm. These things are intertwined. If Israel tries to destroy Hezbollah, and Iranians are really willing to become involved in the battle, so the Americans say what? We'll also become involved. If Iran intervenes, then we'll also intervene. And if the Americans intervene, who else could intervene? Russia. And China could also become involved. Yes, that's correct. Last night, they started to move ships to the area. Who? The Chinese? Yes. And it's no coincidence that cabinet came to a war cabinet. He said, in other words, I feel bad for you. I know it hurts. I'm willing to support you. But we should start a third world war for a few million Gazans? It's not worth it. I'd like to remind you how the First World War began, with a very negligible event. There was explosives in the air and things blew up. Do you think now there is enough explosives in the air for things to blow up? Yes. And that's why there's a war cabinet, and Biden came and participated in the war cabinet. It's not a simple thing, a third world war. And in this poker, what does Israel want to do? It's a very serious thing, and it's no coincidence that Bibi was against attacking Hezbollah because they see themselves in a global slippery slope, and you don't know what's going to happen as a result. I think the first part is obtainable. I mean, to destroy Hamas. Not, in my opinion, as a decision of the cabinet. So the first part, they should do it the whole way. And the second part is the poker and the slippery slope.